All right, good morning. We're going to try this again. This is my third week of One Book July, and so this will be my last video. And I just wanted to do like a quick flip through, maybe explain a few things, especially if you hadn't seen the previous two, and then just give some final thoughts about One Book July. And so what I had done was consolidated both my work planner and my home planner together. And I also have been combining, like I had a separate planner that I would just file some loose papers in, and I've combined that into this as well. So this is a Franklin Covey Harper, and it's in lilac. The color doesn't come true on here, but I've given up trying to make that happen. And it's in the classic size. You can see that it's pretty full, but that's because it's literally everything here. My only complaint about this has been the bulk and the heaviness of the planner. I bought this used on a Facebook group, but at Costco, I was shopping last weekend for groceries, and I saw they had backpacks, and they were like $14, and it's a really great backpack with a laptop sleeve and all kinds of stuff in it, and it's perfect for my job. I'm a teacher, and so I've got a laptop, I've got this, and I've got like papers and books and stuff that I'm bringing back and forth. And so I got the backpack, and there's a pocket that this fits perfectly into, and so that's kind of solved my problem of having to carry it in my hands with other things. It's not perfect. I don't necessarily like wearing the backpack all the time, but it's better than not having it, and so it kind of helps with the size and the heaviness of the planner. So let's go ahead and take a look. I don't think that I've ever talked about the pen loops in this planner. They're leather, or I don't know if this is real leather. I don't think so, but yeah, I don't think this is real leather, but we'll say they're leather, and they don't have any elastic to them, but they are a really good size. You can fit large pens in there. So I have this Dr. Grip 4+1, and it's got like the silicone handle there, and it fits in there absolutely no problem. If you're a fountain pen person, this is my Noodler's Ahab. We all know that this is like a huge pen, and it fits in there no problem. And so I love the pen loops in this, and this has been one of the pens I've been using, and I've really been enjoying it. I had replaced the refills in it, so if you're interested to see which ones I purchased, you can check out my Pilot 4+1 Dr. Grip, or Pilot Dr. Grip 4+1. So these aren't the refills that came in it. They were different ones that I tried out, and I've really been liking how those are working with the paper and the size of the lines and stuff. So I've just got some little bits of paper in here and cards, and I have my husband in my extra passport picture here. I just thought that was kind of fun. I've got like a something I need to mail here. Use my words. It's early in the morning, so I have some coffee, so I may be taking a break to take a drink now and then. On the other side, I've been using this week, so let me back up just a little bit. This week was our second week back to work, and we didn't have students until Friday. And so Friday I used this as my, I used it as it was intended, or how I envisioned. And these are the pens that I felt I've switched out to. So other things I've got are, I've just got these three clipped onto the pen loop, and it's working great. So this is like really old and vintage. It's probably like 20 years old, but I have a lot of stationery. This is a Pentel Click Eraser, and I've been using that with my Uni Kurutoga. I've needed a pencil. I like this pencil in the planner because it's really fine tipped, and it rotates so that it never has that flat side. So you always have a sharp line, and the lines in the Franklin Covey are relatively small. I think they were a couple centimeters or something. So I've been using these together. Sometimes I'll use the eraser on the Kurutoga, but not that often. I prefer to have something like this. This isn't necessarily the best one, but I'm going to use it up until it's gone because I have so many supplies. I prefer something like this, or I have a black boxy eraser, but this is much more precise, and it's obviously much more portable in terms of just clipping it to this. I've also been using the Pentel Energel in the needle point. I really love how this writes in the planner. I wish I could take that refill and put it in my Dr. Grip. So I've got a little post-it here to myself to remind myself of something. I've got my post-its here and just my blank paper. And so the next part I have is the address phone tabs. And when you order them from Franklin Covey, you get one paper per letter, and it's just tabbed for you like this. And so I believe it was David Allen's Getting Things Done. It was Getting Things Done. I don't remember. I think it was by David Allen. One of the things that he talks about is creating a filing cabinet for all those little loose bits of paper that you have. And not thinking about it too much, but getting it filed, getting it put away quickly so that you don't have to handle it too much. It's not sitting on your desk for a long time, because when you need to, you'll be able to find it. And at this point, I mean, if I had to look through every single tab to find it, it's not that many, right? It's not going to take me that long. So the filing cabinet has been working great for me. So like things that I want to buy for my home. And then I've got my contacts up, written on the pages, of just not all of my contacts, but ones that I might need in an emergency or something like that. This is a good example of showing work in home. So I can never remember what temperature and for how long to cook chicken. And so I just wrote it on a post-it and stuck it to the C tab for chicken. And sometimes I forget that I've put things in here, because this is a new thing for me. So I was looking for this chicken recipe, and then I thought, did I put it in here? And I just flipped through a few tabs. There it was, under C for chicken. So eventually I'll remember what I have in here, because this is new for me, but it worked. The other thing that I have in the C tab, so this was a printout that a coworker gave me of this thing called Classcraft, that I think a few of us are going a couple of us already use it, but I'm going to try it maybe second semester. It's like a classroom behavior management kind of thing. And this was just information he had for me. So I don't need it right now, but I punched it. I put it under C for Classcraft, and there it is. And this was just a regular piece of paper, just a regular size 8.5 by 11. And it was a pretty thick packet. Or no, it wasn't. It was just a few pages. But 8.5 by 11, and I just folded it. And then once I folded it in half, I hole punched it and I stuck it in here, and that's how regular sized paper fits in here. So, so like under E, I have information on some essential oils that I bought. And so I just cut it off the packaging and I taped it on here. And so now I have my own little library of the essential oil stuff that I bought. What else do I have in here? F, food that my husband will like to eat, that I know he'll like to eat. He's kind of a picky eater. Under G, I have some information for Google Classroom to remind myself how to name my assignments and my classes so I can easily find them. And then I have some grocery lists. So it's just everything truly in one place that I'm really enjoying that. H is house requirements. We're going to eventually get a house, and we're listing things that are like our non-negotiables. Sorry, oh my gosh. So maybe I should stop randomly flipping through. So you saw some pictures probably. I have two very large packets of student information under S, and those are things like pictures, scores, on tests that we take, so that I have that information about my students with me because I need it. Login information for various things, why, my YouTube videos, and now we get on to the calendar section. So I won't show you the whole thing. I'm just going to flip through to last week to give you an idea of how I'm using it. So again, I've got appointments here, and then I've got to-dos and meal planning. And so that was last Sunday, and you'll see how I started to use it throughout the week. So here are appointments that we had when we did not have students, but we had meetings and various activities to go through. These are to-dos at work and then to-dos at home, meal planning. And then these were notes that I took on a phone call that I made. This was Tuesday, so we're getting busier because school is quickly approaching. And so I've got my to-dos again and some notes on a personal phone call that I had, plus a meeting with some coworkers on a format for a warm-up. Wednesday was incredibly busy, as you can see, but I wanted to show you this because really, this is truly like, I mean, I fit so much stuff on here, and I actually got a lot of that stuff done. But I had meetings all day, and then I had all of these to-dos. These were all work and then all home. And I highlighted the one that I absolutely had to do, like, at work, but it was a home-related one. But, I mean, I could fit so many things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 lines of to-dos. And I had 25 of them filled. And I didn't get them all done, but I used the Franklin Covey system. They have little key up here. And so I think this is like before bullet journaling was bullet journaling. Who's Franklin Covey? But completed is a check, forwarded is an arrow, deleted is an X, delegated has its own little mark, and in process has its own mark. And so at the end of the day, and maybe I'll talk about my planning process with Franklin Covey, like how I update the binder each day, not in this video, but in another one. At the end of the day, I will make sure that all of those are filled in, and I'll talk more about that in that video. So I had a lot of things to do. This is Thursday, so I had some meetings up there in the morning. I had to-dos at work and then to-dos at home, and I was pretty proud of myself because I have every single one of these things checked off. This comes from some notes I had before, but this was when I was actually creating that document, and so I put it in here. And this is the first day of school. We had all 6 of our classes in one day. Normally we have a block schedule. So I did have some to-dos. I didn't have a whole lot because I was incredibly productive the day before. So I had a few to-dos I needed to finish up. I had some to-dos here, and actually I didn't. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. I did not mark in here. I always do. And I don't want to leave it blank because I don't ever want to feel... Oh, I think I'm out of that refill. I don't ever want to feel like I've let something fall through the cracks. So I always try to make sure that it's filled in. So I didn't have any appointments except to give my dog, a reminder to give my dog his pill late at night. And that was at 8:30. So I mean, it goes from like 6 something in the morning until 9 at night. But all 6 classes. So then my plan was to put lesson plans on the notes pages, and that's what fit here. So this post-it and this post-it are reminders to me for like anything I can reuse. I always put it on a post-it so then I can just put that post-it in the next, you know, for the next first day of school. So I don't have to rewrite all of these things that I want to try to remember. So what I did, I have 4 things, and normally I wouldn't have 4. But we had all 6 of our classes, plus we had our study hall, plus we had like a portion of our first period where we had to do some organizational things. So I teach career planning, English. This was the first period organizational things, and this was the study hall stuff. So I had enough room to lay out all of those things with some space in between. This is where I used my Kurutoga, and it worked great. I felt very organized, and I felt like I had everything there, and I just leave this open on my desk. Then here was yesterday, so I didn't have a whole lot to do. Well, I did. It says one thing, but it was a lot, right? And so I've migrated over what I needed to, and then I had my meal plan and my one thing to do, and I had no notes, which is totally fine with me. That brings me to today, and I've already been pretty productive and gotten some things done, but you can see I have some other things to do. I've got my meal plan, give my dog his pills, and on the bookmark I have, and this is I think called a compass card. I don't have anything on this side because I still have not done the Franklin Covey starter pack that has been on my list every day. But I have listed things that I know we have the food for, some different meals that I know my husband will like, and that I have the ingredients, and so I just put them here to help me meal plan. I'm just going to quickly show you the next week. So August, I have my month planned out, or these were like forward planning things that I didn't necessarily want. It was just easier to write it on here. I didn't necessarily want to write it on my dailies and flip through, but last night I did do my August planning, and so maybe, like I said, I'll do a video about that, and I did fill in my things. So this is Monday. I will have a normal school schedule. That means I will teach 2 career planning classes and 1 English class. I have a few to-dos that I have to do at work. I have a couple to-dos at home. I haven't done my meal plan yet because I'll do that tonight so that I can just have like one day in advance, make sure everything is thought out. I have an appointment that I have to go to tomorrow in the afternoon after school. And then this is what I started doing for my lesson plans. So I have 2 7s. That's funny. Because I was messing with this lesson plan like over and over again. So sorry, you shouldn't have to watch me work here, but you know, I have to have it accurate. So I have my career planning on this Post-it, and I have a ton of Post-its. If you haven't seen my Post-it treasure trove video, you can watch it. If you have, you know how many Post-its I have, so I have no shortage of Post-its. And then I have my English Post-it, and so what I'm going to do, I think I am going to keep it on Post-its for a couple reasons. It's much larger, so I can much more easily see it at a glance from my desk. It's much larger than these little tiny lines, these lines. Typically in a given class period, I might have like 4 to 6 things written down that we're going to get through. And I might have some notes about that to myself. So 4 to 6 things will fit on this Post-it. The other advantage is I can just peel this off and I can put it in for next cycle. We call them cycles instead of school years because we have 2 in a year. I can put it in for next cycle if the lesson plan went well and I liked it and I don't have to rewrite it. So I might actually go back to that first day of school and rewrite all those things separately on Post-it so that I can just move it over. So that's one advantage, efficiency. The other advantage is I have the notes page below where I can actually write other notes. So, and it doesn't get jumbled together. So the work doesn't get jumbled with the home on my notes. I don't know if that will be a huge issue, but I will still have paper that I can write notes on. So for example, on Wednesday, we always have a staff meeting. I can have my lesson plans, but then if I take notes of the staff meeting, I can actually put it on this paper. I don't know if I'm going to keep them on Post-its, but it worked really well for me. Instead of having to hold my planner, I was able to carry this over to the board to write our agenda on it, and I liked this. I'm liking this. We'll see how it goes. The other thing with English is we'll give them like a quote that will be pertinent to whatever the unit is that we're studying. So if they want to write an essay, or when they have to write an essay and they want to maybe use a quote in there, they will have some relevant quotes to use. And so I've got my quote written on the second page with my English lesson plan. The other advantage to this is that I have those 2 classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, but on Tuesdays and Thursdays I have study hall, my prep period, and an English class. So I can just take my English Post-its, move them over to the next day, and I will have that lesson plan there. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to see if it will work out for me. I think it will work out either way because I really liked having everything together in one place. So like this is my lesson plan for Wednesday. I have for career planning, which I'll have all of my classes on Wednesday. And then I have my English plans with my quote, which I will have on this day as well as this day. I think that makes sense. And I've just got anything that I already knew about August filled in, any kind of reminders, and I wanted to show you. So up here in this little blank spot, anything that was like a big thing to know that day, I've put it there. So like at our school, we will have 4 days of school, and then we have 1 day where it's like a field trip or it's some sort of like an enrichment experience that's not necessarily in the classroom. And so those days I've been putting there to just remind myself, because I'm not going to have a lesson plan. I might have a lesson plan actually, but not for English or career planning. I have loved having all of the months in here. I've loved having the month that I have gone through because I've made references, and I will go over that in like my how do I plan video. I think I'm going to make that. I've now said it like 3 times, so I probably should. So I've got all of these forward planning sheets, and then I've got my finances in the back. So I have all of my like categories tabbed along the sides, and I've been keeping track of running totals. I did my totals for July for my budget, and I filled in my bill tracker for July, and I filled in my monthly budget page. And then I started filling in my yearly income and expense tracker. So, and then of course I still have my automotive information. So I've been using the budget financial portion of this as well. And then I still have papers for this issue I've still been trying to resolve with a medical billing company. So that is what I've got in my planner. It's gotten pretty hefty because of those things that I've added to my filing cabinet, but I truly do have my life all in one place. So I probably wouldn't have tried this if I hadn't been kind of inspired by One Book July, although, well, I don't know. I had been thinking about consolidating to one to see how it goes. But other than the heaviness and the bulkiness, I have really liked having it all together. I think that in the next month or so, time will tell if this is actually going to work as an all-in-one solution. But so far, so good. And I just like knowing that when I have this, I have everything that I need. And I can see my time and my day and, you know, the future, and I have some relevant notes for the past if I need it, so that if I have a pocket of time somewhere in my day and I need to make a phone call or whatever, I have it. So I just really like having it all together. It doesn't hurt that this binder is beautiful. And I'm enjoying the Blooms inserts. I like the way those look. So I feel like I'm really able to use all of the functionality of this. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm using this fully. I'm fully using this system, and it's working so far. And I think that the way it's laid out is, it just makes sense. This is me trying to put my thoughts together, you know, early on a Sunday morning. It just makes sense, and it's very functional, and I like that. It's efficient, it's functional, and it's helping me to be productive as long as I actually go through and do the things that I have on there. So I'm just really enjoying it. You know, I love watching all the planner videos that people put out, and at one point I attempted to do a little bit of my own, like, creative planning or whatever. But for me, a planner has always been, and I have discovered through this, is continuing to be just something that is a functional tool for me. And I don't really need the decoration. It is really just to help me organize and plan and try to streamline things and make sure that I get things done. And this system, more than any other, has really been doing that. Even just having the little symbols has helped. So I've enjoyed this One Book July challenge. I'm going to continue this until it doesn't work, and I'm hoping it continues to work. And yeah, I think that for some people it works, and for some people it doesn't. And for me, so far, I'm just really liking it, and I'm loving just having it all together. At this point, I'm rambling. So I hope that you are having a fantastic day. I hope you have a great week. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and give me a thumbs up if you liked it, or subscribe if you haven't subscribed and you like to hear somebody ramble about stationery. I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Bye.